Imagine this. Your mom sits at the kitchen table like she does every morning. She pours herself a bowl of oatmeal, slices up a fresh banana, and pops her daily pills, just like the doctor said. It looks peaceful, safe, even healthy. She's doing everything right? But just a few hours later, she tries to stand, and the room spins. Her legs wobble. She reaches for the counter but doesn't make it. She crashes to the ground. No warning. No time to catch herself. Just the dull thud of a fall and the silent question echoing in the back of your mind. What went wrong? Here's the truth. Every year, thousands of seniors suffer injuries from falls that aren't caused by weak bones or slippery floors, but by something far more hidden. A quiet, dangerous reaction between their medication and the very food they think is helping them. You might be thinking, but she was eating healthy, just oatmeal and fruit. And that's exactly what makes this so terrifying, because most people don't even realize the risk, not until it's too late. So here's my question to you, and I want you to sit with this for a second. Have you ever watched someone you love take a tumble and felt completely powerless? If there's even one moment in your memory, you need to stay with me. In this video, we're going to walk through 7 common medications that can quietly turn dangerous simply because of what they're taken with. These aren't rare or exotic drugs. They're in everyday cabinets across millions of homes right now, maybe even yours. And listen, this isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Because once you know the why, you can prevent the fall, the ambulance ride, the heartbreak that follows. Before we go any further, I want to hear from you in the comments. Where are you watching from? And what time is it right now? Let's see how far this message travels, because if it saves even one person, it's worth every second. And if you care about protecting your parents, grandparents, even yourself someday, then please subscribe to Elders' Wisdom, because here, we don't just talk health, we fight for it, one truth at a time. Medication number 1, lisinopril, blood pressure medication. Now let's start with one of the most common medications out there, lisinopril. It's a go-to for managing high blood pressure. Maybe your dad takes it, or your spouse, or maybe even you. Let me tell you about Grandpa John. Every single morning, he sits at the kitchen window, toast on the plate, a little orange juice in his glass. And right beside his breakfast, that little white pill, lisinopril. He thinks he's being responsible, taking his meds, staying healthy, until one morning, he stands up from his chair, turns toward the hallway, and the next thing he knows, he's waking up on the floor, confused, dizzy, bruised. At first, the family blames age. He's just getting older, they say. Or maybe he stood up too fast. But what they don't know is that the real problem was quietly hiding in that glass of orange juice. Here's what most people don't realize. Foods that are high in potassium, like bananas, oranges, even potatoes, can interact badly with lisinopril. Why? Because lisinopril already raises potassium levels in the blood. So when you mix the two, that potassium spikes even higher, and suddenly, blood pressure crashes fast. That's why dizziness, fainting, and yes, falls become more likely. Dangerous even. And the biggest misconception? People think, well, it's fruit. It's healthy. How could that be bad? But when it comes to medication, healthy doesn't always mean safe. That's the difference no one talks about. So what can you do? It's actually simple. Lisinopril should be taken at least 1 hour before eating. And if potassium-rich foods are part of your daily meals, they need to be monitored. Not banned, but balanced. And that balance can literally save a life. Now, before we move on, can I ask you something personal? Do you know exactly what foods your loved ones are eating with their medication? If not, how sure are you that today won't be the day something goes wrong? Don't wait for the hospital to tell you what you could have known right now. Stick with me, because this next medication, it's even more common and even more misunderstood. Medication number 2, levothyroxine, thyroid medication. Next up is levothyroxine, a thyroid medication that millions of seniors take every morning. But here's the problem. The way it's taken is just as important as when it's taken. And this one gets messed up more often than you'd think. Let me paint the picture for you. Margaret is in her 70s, sweet, active, full of life. Every morning she takes her thyroid pill with her usual routine. Coffee brewing, a slice of whole grain toast, maybe some yogurt or oatmeal. Weeks pass and she starts feeling off, tired, foggy, a little shaky on her feet. At first she just thinks, well, maybe I didn't sleep well, but it keeps happening. She's dizzy, her balance is off, and suddenly she's afraid to even leave the house alone. So what's really going on? Levothyroxine is extremely sensitive to how it's absorbed in your body. Even something as simple as calcium or fiber-rich foods like toast, milk, or yogurt can block it. And coffee? Don't even get me started. Just 1 cup too close to the pill, and the entire dose might not work the way it's supposed to. So now Margaret's walking around thinking she's on her meds, when in reality, her body isn't getting what it needs. That imbalance leads to fatigue, weakness, and yes, falls that seem to come out of nowhere. The biggest misconception? People assume, as long as I take my pill, I'm covered. But that's only half the truth. Timing matters, and what you take with it matters even more. Here's the right way to do it. Take levothyroxine on an empty stomach at least 30 to 60 minutes before any food, and skip the coffee until later. Also, avoid calcium supplements for at least 4 hours afterward. Otherwise, you're just working against yourself. Let me ask you this. Has anyone ever told you how critical meal timing is with thyroid meds? Or did they just hand over the prescription and send you home? Let me know in the comments section below. It's little gaps in information like this that cause real-world accidents. But when you know better, you do better. And that's what we're here for. Stick with me, because the next medication is one most people treat like no big deal, but it's responsible for thousands of emergency room visits every single year. Medication number 3, ibuprofen, over-the-counter pain reliever. Now let's talk about a pill most people treat like chewing gum, ibuprofen. You've probably got a bottle in your kitchen drawer right now, maybe in your car, maybe in your purse. It's that go-to fix for backaches, headaches, arthritis, sore knees, you name it. But here's what almost nobody knows. Ibuprofen, when mixed with certain meals, can turn from helpful to harmful. Fast. Let me tell you about Dan. Dan's 68, still working part-time at the hardware store, and proud of it. After a long shift, his lower back flares up, so he pops 2 ibuprofen tablets right after dinner, just like he's done for years. But this time, a few hours later, he's doubled over. Not from the back pain, but from a stabbing ache in his stomach, sweating, dizzy. He almost faints trying to stand. What happened? Was it food poisoning? A stomach bug? It was the ibuprofen, taken right after a heavy, fatty meal. See, foods high in fat, like fried chicken, creamy sauces, or buttery meals, can slow how your body absorbs ibuprofen, which means it lingers longer in your system, irritating the stomach lining the whole time. And over time, this irritation can cause ulcers, bleeding, dizziness, and eventually, falls. Now here's where it gets tricky. A lot of people believe food protects the stomach when taking pain relievers, but that's only true for some medications, and only under the right conditions. Sometimes, the food actually makes things worse. So what's the safer way? Always follow your doctor's specific instructions. Some may tell you to take it with a light snack. Others may prefer it on an empty stomach, depending on your digestive health. Either way, don't just guess, ask, because guessing can turn into a hospital visit. Now, a quick moment of connection. Are you still with me? Drop a 1 in the comments if this video has been helpful so far, or a 2 if you think I should explain things even more clearly. I read every response. Your voice matters here. And keep watching, because this next one, metformin, it's a diabetes med, and what it does with food might shock you. Medication number 4, metformin, diabetes medication. All right, let's talk about metformin, a staple for managing type 2 diabetes. This pill is trusted by millions. It's often the first thing doctors prescribe after a diabetes diagnosis. But here's the twist. When taken with the wrong kind of meal, it can quietly set off a chain reaction inside the body, one that could end in a fall. And here's the misconception. It's just a diabetes pill. As long as I eat, I'll be okay. But the reality is, what you eat and how much absolutely matters. A heavy evening meal mixed with metformin can push your body too far. So what's the safer approach? Split your doses if your doctor allows it. Take it with lighter meals whenever possible. And most importantly, talk with your doctor or a diabetes educator about meal timing. Don't assume, ask. Let me pause here for a moment and ask you something that might feel a little uncomfortable. When was the last time you, or someone you love, checked the meal plan alongside the medication schedule? Not just the pills, not just the food, but how they work together? Because it's not enough to just eat right or just take your meds. The danger lies in the space between those two actions. That's where falls happen. That's where ER visits start. But it's also where prevention begins. Coming up next is a medication people use to sleep peacefully through the night. But if it's taken at the wrong time, the night could end in a dangerous fall. Let's talk about zolpidem. Medication number 5, zolpidem, sleeping aid. Now, let's talk about sleep. So many seniors struggle with it. Tossing and turning, waking up at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling, and for many, the solution becomes a little white pill, zolpidem. You might know it by the brand name Ambien. It promises rest, relief, a few hours of peace. But for some, it becomes the start of a dangerous night. Let me tell you about Tom. He's 73. He eats a light dinner around 6, but around 9 p.m., he gets hungry, so he makes a late-night snack, a sandwich, maybe a cookie or two, and then takes his sleeping pill before heading off to bed. Within an hour, his wife finds him confused, standing in the hallway, mumbling about something that doesn't make sense. He doesn't remember how he got there. And worse, he nearly fell going down the stairs. That snack, innocent as it seemed, completely changed how the drug worked. Here's what's really going on. Zolpidem is designed to act fast, to help you fall asleep quickly. But when you take it after eating, especially if there's fat in the meal, it slows down the absorption. That delay means the medication kicks in much later, when you're already up, maybe walking, maybe trying to use the bathroom, while mentally your body's shutting down into sleep mode. That disoriented state, it's called complex sleep behavior, sleepwalking, sleep talking, even sleep driving in some extreme cases. And for seniors, it can mean dangerous falls from simply being in the wrong place at the wrong time, half asleep but fully moving. The misconception here? I'll take it after a little snack. It'll work better. But the truth is, the safest way to take zolpidem is on an empty stomach, right before bed, and only when you're ready to sleep. Not while you're still watching TV. Not while you're scrolling through your phone. The moment you take it, it's time to go straight to bed. Period. And remember, zolpidem isn't meant to be a long-term solution. If you or a loved one have been on it for weeks or months, please bring it up with your doctor. Here's a reflection for you. What would happen if you didn't know this? What if tonight someone in your home made that same mistake? Would you even recognize the signs? This is why awareness matters. Not later, not next week, but now. The next medication we'll talk about is one many seniors use daily. It's meant to help with mood, but when taken with the wrong foods, it can throw off the entire body. Let's look at sertraline. Medication number 6, sertraline, antidepressant, Zoloft. Let's talk about something that doesn't always get enough attention in our older years. Depression, it's real, it's silent, and it often hides behind phrases like, "I'm just tired," or "I'm fine, don't worry about me." That's why medications like sertraline, commonly known as Zoloft, are often prescribed to help lift the fog, bring back the light, help someone feel like themselves again. But what if I told you that the way you take it might be making things worse? Nana starts her day with something simple, a smoothie with yogurt, maybe some peanut butter for protein, and her daily dose of sertraline. Seems harmless, right? Maybe even healthy. But an hour later, she's dizzy, nauseous. She holds the wall as she walks. She doesn't trust her balance anymore. Her family starts wondering if the depression is getting worse. But that's not it at all. The real issue? Fat. Sertraline, when taken with high-fat meals, becomes too strong too fast. That smoothie? Full of healthy fats. But those fats speed up absorption, and suddenly the medication is hitting her system like a tidal wave. Overload. Instead of leveling her out, it's causing side effects. Dizziness, lightheadedness, weakness. And that's exactly the kind of thing that leads to an accidental fall. There's a big myth around antidepressants that more absorption equals better results. But when it comes to sertraline, it's balance that matters most, not power. Overabsorption can make the side effects worse than the original symptoms. So here's the safe way to handle it. Take sertraline with a light snack, not on an empty stomach, but definitely not with a heavy, fatty meal. Something gentle, simple, and always check in with the pharmacist when starting or switching medications like this. Let me gently ask you this. Could someone in your life be suffering not because of their depression, but because of the way their medication interacts with food? It's not an easy thought, but sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is look closer. These aren't just pills. They're chemicals working inside a very human body, and that body changes with age. Coming up next is one of the most commonly prescribed medications for seniors. It's a blood thinner meant to prevent strokes and clots. But when taken with a certain leafy food, it can quietly stop working altogether. Let's talk about warfarin. Perfect. Let's move into part 8, warfarin, blood thinner, the final medication in the list. This section delivers a powerful message about how even healthy eating can become dangerous without the right knowledge. Medication number 7, warfarin, blood thinner. All right, now we've come to one of the most well-known and most misunderstood medications in elder care. Warfarin. If you or someone you love has ever had a stroke, blood clot, or heart issue, you've probably heard of it. It's a blood thinner, designed to keep clots from forming, to protect the heart, the brain, the lungs. And it's saved lives, no question. But here's the shocker. The very foods people eat to get healthier can quietly cancel it out. Let me share Gloria's story. She's 76 and decided to eat cleaner, more vegetables, less red meat. She adds spinach to her breakfast eggs, kale to her soups, and a fresh salad every night. She's feeling proud of herself, and she should be. But weeks later, something changes. She starts to feel chest tightness. Her legs feel heavy. Her doctor checks her blood levels and realizes something shocking. Her warfarin dose has stopped working. Completely. The problem? Vitamin K, leafy greens like kale, spinach, collard greens are packed with vitamin K, which helps the body form clots. That's usually a good thing. But warfarin's whole job is to do the opposite. Prevent clots. So when vitamin K levels suddenly increase from a new diet, they overpower the medication. It's like pushing the gas and the brake at the same time. And the worst part? Gloria thought she was doing the right thing. She didn't know that what's healthy in general isn't always safe when medication is involved. Here's the big takeaway. You don't have to avoid leafy greens altogether, but you do have to keep your intake consistent. Warfarin is calibrated to your body's normal habits. If you eat spinach twice a week, keep it twice a week. If you eat none, keep it at none. It's the sudden changes that throw your levels out of balance. And whatever you do, tell your doctor if you're making a dietary change. They may need to adjust your dose to match. So let me ask you, has anyone in your family suddenly changed their diet without realizing it could affect their medication? It's an easy mistake to make, but a dangerous one. Because when warfarin stops working, you may not notice it until something serious happens. Now let's step back for a moment, because what we've just gone through isn't light. These 7 medications, they're meant to heal, but taken with the wrong foods, they can quietly do harm instead. You've just heard the 7 medications that millions of seniors take every single day, and how something as harmless as a sandwich, a salad, or even a morning glass of juice can quietly turn those medications against the body. And here's the truth most people won't say out loud. It's not your fault. You're not a doctor, you're not a pharmacist, and the label on the pill bottle, it rarely explains all this. So please, I need you to do something important right now. Leave a comment below and tell me, which of these 7 surprised you the most? Was it the thyroid meds, the antidepressants, or maybe the blood pressure pills? Your comment could literally help someone else realize they're at risk too, and it lets me know what to cover in future videos, so no one gets left in the dark again. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. Not because it helps me, but because the next video might be the one that protects someone you love. Because when it comes to elderly health, silence is dangerous. But knowledge saves lives. Before you go, just remember, a small habit change today can prevent a major health crisis tomorrow. Whether you're caring for a parent, a grandparent, or just watching out for your own future, being informed is one of the greatest acts of love. If you found value in this video, hit that like button so YouTube shows it to others who need it just as much as you did. And if you're still watching, thank you. Truly. You're part of a community that cares, and that makes all the difference.